Have you ever paused, mid-scroll, mid-thought, mid-breath, and wondered, what if the world you see is only the faintest outline of something larger, richer, truer, just beyond the edge of sight, just beyond the edge of certainty? Have you ever felt that tug, that uneasy whisper, telling you there might be more, and that the more could change everything? Picture a cavern, vast and echoing, so deep beneath the earth that daylight has never licked its walls, so ancient that its damp breath has eroded stone into smooth, cold seats. On those seats from birth sit prisoners, wrists and ankles shackled, necks braced so they stare at a single blank wall. They cannot turn. They have never turned. Behind them burns a fire, the only light they have ever known, and between the fire and their backs march puppeteers, silent technicians of illusion. They raise wooden cutouts of trees, birds, dragons, athletes, presidents, and dreams. The glow of the flames casts flat silhouettes onto the wall, and the prisoners applaud each shifting shadow as though it were the very pulse of life. They give the flickers names, debate their shapes, wager on which outline will appear next. To them, the rumble of feet, the clack of cutouts, the crackle of flame, these are holy sounds, reality sounds. Now, imagine one prisoner, call him you. A curious tremor births itself in the marrow of your bones. The iron around your wrists weakens, a chain snaps. You stand, legs trembling like newborn fawns, and for the first time your neck pivots, blinding pain. Your eyes, sculpted for dimness, meet the ferocity of fire. Tears carve rivers down your cheeks. You stagger toward the flames, past the puppeteers, whose silhouettes look eerily like the giants you once worshipped. They do not stop you. Perhaps they do not care. Perhaps they never noticed you at all. A tunnel yawns upward. Each step burns. Each heartbeat chants, up, up, up. The air thins then freshens, tinged with grass, wind, sky. You emerge beneath a sun so brilliant it feels like a spear of molten glass through your skull. You collapse. Slowly, painfully, sight adjusts, colors flood in, crimson berries, emerald leaves, the shimmering sapphire of a dragonfly's wings. Depth unfurls. You trace the jagged silhouette of mountains, the velvet arc of clouds, the golden hush of a wheat field bowing to breeze. And you laugh, the sound raw, amazed, feral. How small the shadows seem now, how flat, how sad. Time passes, wonder morphs into longing. You remember the friends still bound below, the arguments over which shadow crowed loudest, the pride felt when you guessed correctly. You decide to descend, heart swelling with news of a world beyond gray silhouettes. Down the tunnel once more, back into smoke and darkness, back to the wall. There they sit, exactly as you left them. You speak. At first your voice cracks, like a lantern sputtering against the damp. They hush you. You insist. You paint visions of oceans, of sunlight you can feel on your eyelids like warm silk, of colors so sharp they taste like fruit. They laugh. They call you mad, broken by the very chains that freed you. Some threaten violence. And in that moment, right here, our story stills, like breath held on the brink of confession. Ask yourself, if you were that prisoner, would you stay in the light or return to the shadows for the sake of those you love? If truth costs you belonging, which do you pay? And beyond ancient caves, what does any of this have to do with us, huddled around pocket-sized fires we call screens? Philosophy steps forward, three voices in the crowd. The Stoic speaks first. He places a calm hand on your shoulder and says, "The shadows are neither good nor evil, merely impressions. Guard your inner citadel. Seek virtue. If they mock you, endure. If they attack, endure. Truth is a discipline, not a trophy. Live according to nature, which is to see things as they are, not as flickers on a wall." The nihilist chuckles, smoke coiling from his smile. Shadows, suns, mountains, meaning, all illusions inside illusions. Liberation is accepting that nothing possesses inherent truth. So why climb? Why bleed your eyes on sunlight? Dance with the puppet show, or sit out entirely. None of it matters in the void. An existentialist leans in next. Trimmed beard, restless eyes, he whispers, meaning is forged, not found. The cave is absurd, yes, but so is the sky. What counts is the choice. Choose to climb. Choose to create purpose in the brightness. Then choose again, if you must, to descend and risk ridicule. In choosing, you become the author of your being. Each voice lingers, then fades into torch smoke, leaving the heavy silence of decision. You finish your tale, heart thudding like drums in a distant festival. The prisoners jeer. One throws a broken chain link that glances off your brow. Blood beads. You look at them, eyes wide, unblinking, and you see yourself, the you from yesterday, arguing over whose shadow horse won the invisible race. You unfasten their cuffs, they recoil. You lift one toward the tunnel. He digs heels, screaming. Eventually they bind you, drag you back to the wall, force your gaze forward, iron clamps biting anew. Your words echo, growing thinner, until they vanish beneath the crackle of fire. And yet, something has shifted. Far at the edge of the wall, faint as first dawn, a single prisoner squints sideways. Just enough to glimpse the fire. Just enough to wonder, so what are our shadows? Are they follower counts, flashing in midnight blue light? Are they curated news feeds shivering with outrage? Are they brand logos stitched onto fabric we equate with identity? The paycheck digits we equate with worth. The whispered gossip we equate with truth. We sit, necks angled at glowing rectangles, applauding silhouettes of other lives, believing ourselves informed, entertained, connected. Yet when someone we trust speaks of a world beyond, of nuanced ideas, of uncomfortable facts, of messy, radiant reality, we flinch, mock, scroll past, switch tabs. Maybe the cave isn't ancient stone. Maybe it's a scroll wheel lubricated by dopamine. Maybe the climb is the painful process of doubt, study, dialogue, empathy. Maybe the sun is not certainty, but the willingness to live without it, eyes open, skin tingling with possibility. Have you felt the scorch of new knowledge? The sting when cherished beliefs crack. That is the fire behind you, daring you to turn. And when you finally look away from the wall, everything hurts at first. Friendships strain, worldviews wobble. But beyond that pain lies a landscape where colors have names you have never spoken. So when the next uncomfortable truth knocks on your inbox, will you clamp your eyes to the screen, or will you risk the ascent? Will you trade applause for authenticity, comfort for clarity, belonging for becoming? If this exploration resonates with you, subscribe, share the climb with others who have begun to squint at the firelight. And for now, as always, keep thinking.